So when I turned 30, I received my trust fund. This was a fund that I had been waiting for almost all my life. By the time I knew that I was going to get some major money at 30, that was all I could think of. 30 could not come fast enough. Now in Naira, we're talking about 9 digits, and in dollars, we were talking seven. So this was big money. I was ready for the freedom that would come with that money. I was ready to just break the chains of being responsible or talking to anyone or answering anyone's questions. This was me entering into my best life, best life. And so I had all these things planned in my head, what I would do, where I would go, places I would see, what I would buy. And 30 did come, thankfully. Not too long ago, I'm not that old, but 30 did come. And when it came, I gave it a few months, and then I sent the message. Oh, hello, everyone. This was to the trust fund holders, the trust fund, the people managing the fund. I'm 30 now. Remember what the will says? The will says when I'm 30, I can have access to the fund. And they were like, oh, yes, great, Toyosi, great. Congratulations, you're 30. When are you going to be around? Because by then I had moved to the States. And so I was like, oh, I can come next week. I was acting very humble, like I didn't really care about it. And yeah, whenever, all of that. And then I made my way back to Nigeria, met with the personal bankers, and the fund was handed over to me. This was freedom. This was life. All the things I had planned to do, all the places I planned to go, all the gadgets I planned to buy, I started getting ready for it. And in terms of travel, I did travel. There was a lot of traveling. I even have some pictures from my travel. Yes, I think this was somewhere in the UAE. I want to say Doha or something. And then this was Abu Dhabi. I remember this picture clearly. This was Dominican Republic or Puerto Rico. This was Miami. I remember this picture. This was, of course, Dubai. This was the Bacardi factory. I'm trying to remember where it was now, but I went to see how they were making Bacardi because when you have money, you go and see how they're making things. And this was Cape Town. And I think we have a few more. Of course, I met Wizkid on some of my travels. And when you meet Wizkid, you know you've blown, right? And you know you are carrying him. And so, yes, I did all these travels, went to all these places. And beyond travel, I bought luxury goods. They knew me in Soho at the Chanel store. I remember the day I bought a $3,000 pair of shoes. I remember buying earrings. I went to Paris. I bought a Fendi bag. But you don't just buy Fendi. You make sure they put your initials on it. And so I said they should engrave my initials. Yes, so that when I'm carrying, people will know that it's my own. I'd not borrow from anybody. And of course, I bought things for friends. I was very generous. In my head, I had said money was not going to control me. Oh, I'm sure you wish you were my friend then because I spoilt my friends. I bought tickets, I bought gadgets. Pretty much what I was doing for myself, I did for them. I was very generous. My friends loved me. I loved them back. We were all in love, was a love relationship. And then, I want to say about 1.5 or 2 years later, I woke up one morning, I checked my bank balance, and I was broke. Broke. The first feeling that came over me was confusion. Like, am I missing one zero? Is it that the zero is there? I cannot see it. There were more numbers than this before. What is happening? But I was actually very broke. Couldn't afford things that I could afford before. Couldn't go anywhere. I remember one of the pearls on my Chanel shoes coming off, and before I'd have gone to buy another one, I was looking for super glue to fix the pearl back. I was just confused. And after that confusion came shame. A certain sense of shame just washed over me. Like, I'm a believer and I study the scriptures, and we know the story of the prodigal son. I looked at my life and I said, after this story of the prodigal son, I've heard it so many times. How did I become this person? Nothing to my name. I had literally squandered everything, all in the name of generosity and just trying to live my best life. And so shame came over me, and then I stepped into depression. And for a few months, I want to say, I couldn't go out. I couldn't talk to friends. I would be invited to places where normally before I'd be the one buying drinks or whatever it is. I couldn't go. I was I was depressed. I was ashamed. I was afraid. I didn't see the light. I didn't even think there was any light at the end of the tunnel. And then a few months after that, I want to say about a year after that, I met a coach. And I believe she was sent to me because I could not even afford a coach. And this is the coach I should have gotten at the beginning of when this money came. I did not get the coach, but the coach sure came, you know. And then a therapist also came into my life by way of friendship. And then it turned out that she was a therapist. And so between the coach and the therapist, I started to see light at the end of the tunnel. I started to go through counseling. I started to go through programs. And the major shift that took place in my mind was understanding that I could build from bottom up. I could start from scratch. And so I started that journey of healing and started the journey of finding myself. And in finding myself, I realized that I told great stories. And so when COVID hit in 2020, I wrote a book. The book was titled Now You Know Me Better. And I took people on the journey of my life. I left out the part of squandering money, but I shared interesting times and periods in my life. Had a beautiful launch, got published on Amazon as well, got picked up by some bookstores in Nigeria, and I started to build myself up again. And over months, because not over the years, but over months, I started to find other interests that I had. Remember, at this time, I hadn't really worked like that, you know, because first of all, reality TV is a problem because when that money hits, the first people I was thinking of were the Kardashians. Like, I have to live my life like a Kardashian. I remember going to Austin, Texas, and actually jumping off a boat into a lake. And it's not like I could really swim. But because I had seen the Kardashians jumping from boats, that just seemed like the right thing to do with money. And so thankfully, I'm sure angels were there just watching over me. I jumped off that boat into a lake, Lake Travis, I remember, and thankfully made my way back to the boat. But before then, I hadn't really found myself, obviously. And so after writing my book, and thankfully again for COVID, I had time to really just think, what do I like? Who am I? What's my purpose? Why am I here? What am I good at? And I started to realize I had a great network. I had a passion for the media and entertainment space. No, I wasn't going to act, and I probably wasn't going to produce, but I was going to facilitate opportunities for the actors and the producers to meet with people and to meet with brands and with organizations. And so that led to me reaching out to friends and really thinking beyond myself now. I started to think about the industry. And when the opportunity came at Essence Fest, which is the largest African American cultural festival in the United States, 500,000 daily attendance over 3 days, 1.9 million views daily, 41 billion digital impressions. When that opportunity came to showcase an industry dear to my heart, Nollywood, I took the opportunity. I went to the organizers and I said, hey, you're organizing a Black film festival. Is it Black or is it African American? They were like, it's Black. I said, if it's Black, then Nigeria should be represented here because first of all, Nollywood is the second largest film industry in the world. And second of all, we are the most populous Black nation in the world. So we need a seat at this table. And they listened. And so for the first time this year, there will be a Nigeria Day at the Essence Film Festival where we are going with Nollywood players, we're going with filmmakers, producers, actors, and we're hoping to meet with Hollywood counterparts there so that relationships are forged and there are more opportunities for Nollywood. And the final thing that I'm building from scratch is a detailed Nollywood database. How many of you know IMDb? IMDb, yes. So sadly, we don't have an IMDb for Nollywood. So when these international partners, who I am actively going after and chasing to give us a chance and to just give us some space. When these guys are looking for the best actors or the best producers or the best production companies, they don't have any platform to go. And so I am building that also from scratch. So this is just to say everything seemed to end at one point, but through tenacity, through vision, through the grace of God, I am building from bottom up. Thank you.